from the Society for the Democracy 98.1 FM. Mode bring Cantona this edition, my name, Jaffa Man Davis. We see me today on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl and we Radio Democracy Facebook page. We'll get plenty news, information and entertainment. So do with me for the next 1 hour inside the program Midday Show. Yourself for the listen to it from wherever they get with from members. So yourself able for be part of this edition of the program by way how you go send text message to the number 077 981 981. The number again 077 981 981. You can send me so going to Radio Democracy Facebook page. Drop your comment, reaction and contribution inside the comment section for be part of this edition of the program. Inside the program, we'll start for look at issue them. We go outside the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, Dr. Henry Musa Parker, say the aim of Pillar 3 in the Feed Salon agenda now for reduce importation of rice and other food items them and serve able for increased access to food, local food them will get plenty nutrients in the country. Dr. Henry Musa Parker talked this in our engagement with the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security and then partner all for launch the Pillar 3 of the Feed Salon agenda as well for improve food production of the country. For more on this, we join with reporter Al-Hassan Bangura.
Today we are on Pillar 3, which is aggregation, processing and marketing, which through the support of the European Union, FAO, being able to develop a very excellent document to operationalize and implement this pillar as a way of bringing this to life. It's my biggest honor to, at this stage, launch the implementation plan for the operationalization of Feed Salon Strategy, Pillar 3. Our goal in that regard is to reduce the importation of those. For the next 4 months, farmers are not going to buy rice because they grew rice and they're eating it. Nutrition, we're not just going to feed, we want to nourish young people, pregnant women. The big emphasis there. Jobs, increasing income, and building resilience.
That now the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, Dr. Henry Musa Parker, been launched one of the strategic pillars. When a Pillar 3, now the Feed Salon agenda, we aim for boost food security and improve the country economy for women and young people and serve increase food production, reduce the importation of food as this now part of the European Union Sustainable Intelligence Initiative for help address pasmak angry whether the Hamburg people in the country. Dr. Henry Musa Parker continue for talk about the different pillar them. Under Pillar 3, now the Feed Salon agenda and waiting governments don't do for make the Feed Salon agenda go succeed.
There are 6 pillars in that strategy. Mechanization and irrigation. Right now in the process of developing 4,000 hectares of irrigation in Tomabom, 1,000 in Bundabi. That action, that construction is going on. At the end of this month, we will go there to see mechanization. That has been going on with some challenges. Beginning of this year, we gathered about 140 youths, young men and women, to go teach them how to operate, repair, and maintain tractors and other agricultural machinery. We also have the second pillar, which is the seeds and input system. Last year, 2024, we had all the foremost experts on the continent to develop another operational plan for seeds, rice, maize, soya, cassava. We also have Pillar 4, which is the ag finance. There's a lot of work we're doing. Some of it funded by the EU as well. That would include insurance for the past 3 years, credit facility to the Bank of Sierra Leone. 10 million we put last year. Most of that is gone. With support from the World Bank is the digital farmer registration. We have the e-voucher program. We have the e-extension program and Pillar 6, where we think women and youth are core to what we're doing for the change that we want to see.
Frederick Kapuru, now the programs manager for food system, infrastructure and rural development for the European Union delegation to Salon. Talk about within the Feed Salon agenda mean for the European Union mission to Salon and waiting at the organization in plan for give strength to the Feed Salon agenda.
Feed Salon agenda is a top priority for the European Union in Sierra Leone when we talk about agriculture and food system. This is why we are putting an effort supporting the increase of rice production through a budget support activity. We are also planning to have a quite relevant amount of funds. I'm talking about 35 million euro for the development of 3 main value chains that are part palm oil, cassava, and infant food. Through those value chains, we look for per food transformation. So we match the objectives of Pillar 3 of Feed Salon, and we hope really to see an important impact in terms of job creation, development of the food system, and of course, improvements of the nutrition criteria in Sierra Leone.
But how important Pillar 3 of the Feed Salon agenda and whose different area them where this pillar they focus on? Said Abubakar Bansi, now the representative for the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization to Salon, explain.
This particular work seeks to operationalize one of the pillars, which is Pillar 3, and we see this Pillar 3 as one of the key pillars of the Feed Salon. The achievement of this will go a long way, drive the rest of the processes of achieving the remaining pillars as well. So being able to operationalize it and also to use this as a tool to attract stakeholders, private sector investors, and also our grassroots farmers is very, very key to see how we add value to whatever we produce. Increasing the production, adding value, and marketing will create jobs for the population that we have here and also allow us to be able to increase the production of staple food that we consume here. Here we are looking at cassava, we are looking at poultry, we are looking at cashew production, we are looking at rice as key commodities in this subsector.
Sahid Abubakar Bansi end up say, for make Pillar 3 of the Feed Salon agenda go succeed, government and them partner them for make sure say then commitment for the in line with the Feed Salon agenda so that the country go address and tap the pasmak angry and malnutrition where on the Ambok people them na the country. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Alassane Bangura the report.
The program, na midday show, it come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Inside the program, we'll continue to look at more issues. We go inside the legal officer na the Center for Law and Democracy in Canada say Salon the 11th position na the global rights to information rating among over 100 countries in the world. He talk this inside one training where Right to Access Information Commission together with Center for Law and Democracy in Canada. They do now for give ability to then recommend them and other civil society organization, but the comprehensive methodology for accessing rights to access information implementation. We reporter Sonia Bell gets more and will now report.
The Right to Access Information Commission Act of 2013 gives responsibility to the Right to Access Information Commission for support and protect the rights of citizens, for seek information from government institutions them, and monitor the way our institution them they give out information to the public. Now with this, they don't they work. For sake of this make this BNTM, the commission together with them partner Center for Law and Democracy from Canada be all one training for the workman them and other civil society organization them like Center for Human Rights Development International. As play for Giden Sabi, but the comprehensive methodology for assessing right to access information implementation. Usai, the chairman and commissioner for the Right to Access Information Commission, Dr. Ibrahim Siaga Shaw, starts for explain more.
Well, they are proposed for do training. We get Center for Law and Democracy, we come Canada, then send an expert for can train with staff and other participants from civil society organizations. And we get for take part for test the methodology we then develop for monitor and evaluate status of compliance in the country.
Dr. Ibrahim Siaga Shaw continue for talk about how the commission be done they do their work inside the past year then.
So we hope say after this training here, it will add some extra layer to methodology because today we do the proactive disclosure of information, monitoring, and they do it separately from the reactive disclosure of information. So now what will they do? After this training, will they foresee that we will begin to do them together because that this training here they try for encourage for do them together so that the public authorities at the same time will monitor the way they react to the information request. Now, so also they proactively disclose it. So we hope say we will improve. 2022 we record about 13,117 information requests. Then they increase to 19,496 by 2023. We will do the evaluation. So we hope say after this methodology, what we will do for 2024, we hope say the thing will really go up.
But with all this work, what's in Salon in status that the global right to information rating? The legal officer na the Center for Law and Democracy in Canada, Rafael Vagliano, starts for explain.
One of the projects which we have separate to this is we oversee a website called the RTI rating, which looks at how strong right to information laws are globally, and it looks just at the legal framework and how strong they are on paper. And you should be very proud that Sierra Leone actually has a very good law. It's rated number 11 in the world on that rating. That's out of 140 countries which have such, so it's really up there at the top. By way of contrast to report that Canada, where I'm based, is down at number 53.
Rafael Vagliano continue for talk about how important this comprehensive methodology for assessing right to access information implementation could improve the right to access information commission, their work, and that of other civil society organizations.
This methodology will really help you. It's a powerful tool, and I think it will provide a lot of very interesting data and data points and information to really pinpoint some areas which are going well and which could use some improvement. And this will both help you have some data to back up some of your suspicions, but also help you discover some new things which maybe you weren't aware about. And again, this comes at an opportune time, just over a decade that the law has been in place, so it's a good time to take stock to see how things are going.
For Seka, all this make the Right to Access Information Commission and other civil society organizations like Center for Human Rights Development International and for Assured and Partner Center for Law and Democracy from Canada say them go take wetin they don't learn and put them to practice as way for improve on the action of right to information law in the country. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Sonia Bell, the report.
The program, na midday show, they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. 077-981-981, that number you go use for the voice to the program and be part of the discussion. And may bring Kanto in this edition. My name, Jaffa Mans Davis. Inside this edition of the program, we continue to look at more issues from issue we got to do with right to access information. We go to gender, also the chairperson for the Gender Committee in Parliament, Honorable Zainab Catherine Tarawali say, from where Parliament passed the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment GIWI Act inside 2022, till now, government not gazette this act. We mean say the act not turn to law yet. It talk this way. Westminster Foundation for Democracy get one engagement with different people, look inside the impact where the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Act don't make na the life of women them from where it passed na Parliament. For more on this, we reporter Cherno Jalo gets more in Guna report.
Inside 2022, Parliament been passed the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Act, and the idea behind this law now for give women and the legal right for a 30% representation now both elective and selective positions them across different sectors them now the country. This come after a long term where women them in the cry for equal rights and opportunity like man them now the country. But 3 years down the line, since we Parliament passed this act into law, it's necessary for look back and see what's change this particular act don't bring to the life of women them. Now for Seka, this make the Westminster Foundation for Democracy get one engage with members of Parliament, government minister them, development partner, and civil society organization member them for look inside the impact of this particular law don't bring now women their life since we Parliament agree for them 3 years back. When they talk about why they do this, the country director of Westminster Foundation, Reverend Damon Suma, say then decide for bringing together different people them across the country for talk about the success and challenge them with this particular act don't get to woman them.
And also the room is filled with thought leaders in diverse space, and hence the need for this conversation. So this room is highly enriching. So as by way of moving forward on the impact of GIWI, to overcome these challenges mentioned by speakers, I don't want to bore you with that part of my speech. And to ensure that the GIWI Act delivers on the promises, we must take deliberate and concrete action as development partners. We hear from a colleague from UN Women, Madam Bailey was talking about institutionalizing the gender response policy by setting up gender desk and diversity ministries. And also there is need to also strengthen the political will and accountability around the GIWI Act.
Reverend Diamond Suma continues to say Westminster Foundation are one organization willing to support for CC women and get equal opportunity like man them. We make in talk about within the organization they do over the past years for women them, for making them able for capacitate them, for represent them company women them.
And through our technical support, we have provided capacity building initiative in collaboration with the female honorable members of parliament. And also through our technical support, we have also been setting up frameworks, supporting research and policy analysis, and also doing stakeholders engagement in promoting gender-sensitive governance. Our support has centered on strengthening parliamentary capacity on gender mainstreaming to enrich the capacity of female lawmakers and fostering inclusive decision-making process. We've also facilitated dialogues that have bridged the gap between policymakers and grassroots women leaders, and also by extension with the civil society, which is through the formation of the PALCISO, the Parliament Civil Society Network.
After this statement from Reverend Diamond Suma, it be important for know about the change where this particular act don't bring na the life of women them. And when they talk on this, more specifically on representation, the gender advisor to President Bill, Aissatou Jabi Kaba, first start for the statistics of how women them, they will forget leadership role them since when this act came into law.
Representative in cabinet, pre-EV, women constituted only 15% of cabinet ministers. Post-EV, this figure has risen to 34.5% representation in parliament. Pre-EV, women made up only 14% of members of parliament. Post-EV, this figure has more than doubled, 28%. Representation among councillors, mayors, chairpersons, and their deputies. Pre-EV, women held 18.4%. But this post-EV, this figure surged to 41%, demonstrating a significant shift in local governance structures and a growing recognition of women's leadership.
It continues to say with all them progress here, so challenge still lay by the proper implementation of the act.
The implementation of EV Act 2020 has not been without obstacles. 1. Cultural and societal norms. Deep-rooted cultural beliefs and patriarchal attitudes continue to hinder the full realization of gender equality. Changing these mindsets requires sustained advocacy, education, and community engagement. Resource constraint. Adequate funding and resources are essential for effective implementation of the EV Act. 3. Capacity building. Ensuring that women in leadership positions have the necessary skills and support to excel remains a priority. Monitoring and evaluation is another problem.
Honorable Zainab Catherine Tarawali, now the chairperson for the Gender Committee in Parliament, and say in presentation but they gain them so far we women able forget. And say as much as the act don't make plenty women able forget selective and elective positions them. Challenge still lay with women in the face, and this now because and say government, more especially the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, still gets in them will not do it for make this act fully turn to a law.
Part 6, Section 12(2), the minister shall subject to subsection 4, published in the Gazette, designated public and private bodies, which shall comply with one or more provisions of this act. As I speak, if you go to the Gazette of Sierra Leone, we still have the old version of this particular, it is still a bill. It has not been published in the Gazette. The old version is still in the Gazette. And again, let's go to section 14, the regulations. As I speak, I am still the deputy whip in the front bench, the only woman in the APC. The Honorable Veronica and Honorable Nene are still there. The longest serving MP is still a deputy whip. Are we really serious? The regulations of this particular law is yet to see the face of Parliament. Where is the regulation? The Ministry of Gender.
But just like plenty other people we talk before, Honorable Zainab Catherine Tarawali believes say because of this act, more women ended on a parliament and self-ministry department and agencies compared to before. But with this also, and concern about how the situation could be sustainable if the system of election changing in this country.
2028 is very close to the corner. It is still the reign of the SLPP. They will run the elections into what we call a district block election. That I want to say to you. If they happen to lose the election, if they lose, the APC will come to parliament and change the district block to a first past the post. Let me hear now. And if that happens, your position is vague. Huh? Me, I'm an honest politician. It's high time we go back to the drawing board. What we did, me and Vero and others, was to have a sections in the Public Elections Act, sections 59(2), that says every two man, it has to be one. It is there. It is there, but here, it is in the business of the first past the post that we have in the UB Act.
Different statements them where people will make inside this engagement get for do with how them able to work together as one from government to donor partners them for CC women and continue to get equal rights and opportunity like the man them na the country. For the Society for Radio Democracy, me, Achegno Jalo, the report.
The program Midday Show, they continue. The time from the studio clock now 12:21, and inside the program we'll continue to look at more issues from issue again for do with gender equality. We go outside as government to the National Secretariat for the Reduction of Teenage Pregnancy, and then partner them don't launch the National Strategy for the Reduction of Adolescent Pregnancy and Ending Child Marriage 2025 to 2030, and self-report on the formative research on adolescent health, nutrition and support system for reduced teenage pregnancy, with ways for tap the child married. With this, according to the Chief Minister, Dr. David Senge, say government on commits itself for reduced teenage pregnancy from 21% to 10% by 2030. We reporter Karifa to come to get more and gonna report.
Inside 2019, Salombi record over 22% of adolescent girl pikin dem wey get belle before the age of 18 years. Where this, according to experts them, they cause 40% of maternal deaths in the country. Where this make the President Julius Marabio been sign the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2024 to law for fight against child marriage. For sake of this make government and then development partner them don't they develop policy and law them for promote the sexual reproductive health rights of girl pikin dem in the country. And one pandemic document there, now the National Strategy for the Reduction of Adolescent Pregnancy and Ending Child Marriage 2025 to 2030, where this strategic document, now one way they develop for reduced teenage pregnancy and tap child marriage in the country. But waiting are some of the things where they inside this document. Dr. Patricia Barr, now the National Coordinator for the Reduction on Adolescent and Ending Child Marriage, now the National Secretariat for the Reduction of Teenage Pregnancy, he explained.
Inside the documents, we get 8 areas we look one. One, a policy and legal framework. We will find out say a lot of policies, laws there, like for example the Safe Motherhood Bill, we then discuss now. The Child Rights Act, a part of reproductive health, all them bills, then the positive parenting. So we look at them different policies for make sure so we get an enabling environment for everybody for work and the picking them for live to their full potential. We also look at the public health side for make sure so they get adolescent friendly health services where they go to hospital and for able receive them and treat them well and give them the right treatment where they need, both information and services. We also look at social protection areas, how we go able for make sure so they are protected even at the community. We look at how bylaws them, then laws they are, or we need the local government for make sure so we have activities that will help for implement our community level with stakeholders them for address the issue of teenage pregnancy and also for end child marriage.
The Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Healthcare Bill 2024. Now one part the documents them where they promote and support the sexual reproductive health rights of women and girl pikin them. Make the Deputy Minister of Health too, Dr. Jalikatu Mustafa, talk about some of the cause them where they make teenagers and they die in the country.
In a country like Sierra Leone, where we have pressing health issues like teenage pregnancy and early child marriage and girls dying from unsafe terminations, we have to balance the law, the health services, the rights with religion and culture. We have to look at the context as a whole. We cannot say one aspect of society can tie our hands when we want to make life-saving laws for our girls and our women. Our girls matter. They are the future. They are the future mothers. They are the future of human capital development. This is the president that we have. This same president approved the Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Healthcare Bill in his cabinet because it's a continuation of his legacy to fight for the health and well-being of our girls and our women. It's a commitment that the government has made that every girl, every woman has the right to quality, accessible reproductive healthcare services.
As UNICEF na one pan the body them, wey inside the past year dem don dey support government for promote the sexual reproductive health rights of girl pikin dem, make the deputy representative na UNICEF Salon, Alpha Ibrahimayus, talk about the impact wey these documents dey help for reduce teenage pregnancy and child marriage.
Although there has been some progress over the past decade, the statistics remain concerning. 3 in 10 girls are pregnant and 2 in 10 girls marry before their 18th birthday. This is unacceptably high and requires immediate and sustained action. And in this regard, UNICEF commends the government of Sierra Leone for passing the landmark law banning child marriage last year. Together with the strategy launched, there is more hope for young girls and boys in the country. Recognizing the need for evidence and concrete action, UNICEF, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and supported by the Irish Aid and the Global Program to End Child Marriage, has conducted a formative research study on adolescent health, nutrition and support systems.
Where they launch this strategic document, the Chief Minister, Dr. David Senge, say governments don't commit themselves for reduce teenage pregnancy from 21% to 10% by 2030.
We commit to reduce adolescent pregnancy from 21% in 2020 to 10%. By 2030, we commit to eliminate child marriage. Now, when we work together in a truly inclusive and transparent way, when we work together holding each other accountable,
the Chief Minister, Dr. David Senge, end up say government and a partner them go implement all the thing them where they inside this document for say then tap the plenty that way they happen to girl pikin in the country for the Society for Radio Democracy. Mina Karifa to counter the report.
The program midday show they continue inside the program. They come over now to the studio guests. We na I Abu, National Secretary General, Young Women in Governance Network. Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of the program Midday Show.
Good afternoon.
Okay, plenty thank you for joining today inside the program. First off, before we go inside the discussion, as you there for talk about the activities we this network don't they do for empower young women them for push the initiative go before. Start for giving background, but what in this network they're about.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. I go on for say, I'm happy for being here today. Well, me are the National Secretary General for the Young Women in Governance Network. Young Women in Governance Network now a network of young people them within the age of 18 to 35 years. Right across the country, we get a database of over 3,500 young people then. Where the Young Women in Governance Network, a day under Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone an umbrella body for the network. We get support from Irish Aid under the More Than a Woman project. So for the past 3 years, this network don't exist right across the country, and it don't help for bring young people them from various walks of life. We get people that will be say na skills that they learn when are young people there, but they get passion for lead because so we would look at leadership in diverse angle. Though we would focus more on national politics because in at the bedrock, but we try for harness the potential of young people then for say no matter who say you there, you can able for do something and you na leader in your own field. So like we don't work with young people them, Sierra Leone establish and now all the universities them where I happen for be one of the people them. And also if you go outside of the university framework, you get young people that way be saying na Makituman them, you get young people that way na Mareduman them, you get young people that way be say they're into agriculture, they're into business, some they're into skills development. So like when they say a network, na a kind of broad term will include young women them from diverse backgrounds from different organizations. So the network is not a favor a particular sector of people like elites and some of foreign graduates. Then no, it open to everybody, and it help for build the capacity of young women then for me they take up leadership, for me they be self-reliance. So now that we don't they do, and for the past years there has been dividends through the efforts of Sierra Leone under the More Than a Woman project. As I talk to you, we get over 6 of our members them. When our councillors them, we get some of our members them. One of we members them where na a parliamentarian, one of the youngest female parliamentarians. They happen to be part of this network. We also get young people them where occupy positions of trust where they part of the network. So like the network, they identify ourselves with stakeholders them right across with communities them, and they talk on issues them, critical issues them where they affect young people them from education, where would they look around teenage pregnancy. We talk about GBV. We they also look at climate change. We they look at some of the harmful practices where don't they